Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how I made a Brigid doll or a Brigid doll, and I'm going to show you how I made it for my altar space. And you make a Brigid doll or a Brigid doll for Imbolc, and it's to bring blessings to your home. And traditionally, like the Brigid doll would have been would have been paraded around the town, or nowadays you might parade the doll around your house to welcome Brigid into the house. But the main purpose of the doll is to bring good fortune and blessings to your home. And also you can create a little bed for the doll and welcome Brigid into your home again on the night of Imbolc to again bring blessings to your home. Or you can just simply light a candle nearby her, obviously at a safe distance, again to honour the goddess Brigid. So first of all, I folded over these sections of straw and just tied them together, and I tied them near the top here to form the rough head shape. And I didn't like the gaps in the head, so what I did first of all was inserted some straw into the head later on to fill that gap, but then you'll see what I do later on to fill up the gaps better. Now what I'm doing is I'm gathering some straw together to create the arms, and all I do is hold them roughly where I want the arms to be, and then just trim off the excess straw so that the arms are the length that I want them to be. And then what I do is take some string and wrap that around several times first of all, in a crisscross motion to hold the arms in position and to keep them where I want them so that they don't fall off. And you want to wrap the string around a few times just to make sure that these little arms are nice and secure. And I've made sure I've kept the other end of the string at the back because that will help me tie off the ends later on to make sure the string doesn't come undone. And then I just tie the two ends together, make sure it's nice and tight with a double knot. And you can also add a little blob of glue to the knot if you want to make sure it doesn't come undone. And then just pull it nice and tight just to make sure those arms are secure. And to be fair, that forms the basic shape of the doll. Now here's where I cover the gaps at the top. Now you could make this out of something else, but traditionally it's like straw or corn or that sort of thing. I'm just using what I had in the house, which was this straw stuff from an old Halloween decoration. So I threaded some extra straw in the gap at the top because I want to create the head. I want the head to be as smooth as I possibly can get it, like so. And then what I did was I took some pieces of the sort of outer layer of the straw that I could open up wider, and it was like quite thin and flexible, and what I did was use that to cover up the gaps, like so. So I glued that on with some hot glue just to fill up those holes to form the head a little bit better. Sorry, I'm off camera there. It's just I'm fiddling about with this. I forgot I've got to make sure I keep it in shot on the camera. And I was going to wrap it around, but then obviously the stuff I've got's a bit too dry. Normally you'd use quite fresh straw to do this, or soak it first to make it a little softer. But I didn't want something wet that could potentially grow mould or anything on my altar, so I just did it with this dry stuff. And then stuck on these flat pieces so I could fill in the gaps once my hot glue gun had warmed up properly, of course. I'm just using the end of my hot glue just to reheat that glue on the straw and just to fill it in a little bit. And then stuck these pieces over the top, like so, and use that to cover the whole front of the head to create the face. And then all I had to do was trim off the excess, and there I've got the rough doll shape ready to go. I decided to give her a little sort of almost flower crown, but I used these little white lace bunches with beads in that are made to look like little flowers, because I haven't got any flowers that particularly I wanted to use. And I just glued these around her head to form a little sort of floral type crown. And this just required a nice big blob of glue at the bottom, and then just hold them into place for a little while just to make sure they stick. You might find they move while the glue's drying, like setting, but if you just hold on to them for a second or two, they set fairly quickly. And I did this all the way around, including the back of the head, just to give that nice rounded shape to the top of the head. Like so. I had a couple of bags of these. I don't know where these are from. This is something I must have bought from some haberdashery or something ages ago. It's something I found in my cupboard. Then the next thing I wanted to do was to decorate my doll, and I decided to use these dried lavender sprigs. I like to use lavender in a lot of stuff. I love lavender, and I wanted to add a little bit of colour to the doll, and this was what I had to hand. I have like a bowl that I trim off lavender from my garden during the summer months and then dry it out and have it in little bowls around my house. So this was out of my little bowl that I've got some potpourri in. So this not only decorates her but also makes her smell nice as well. And I added, I think it's three or four of these that I glued onto the doll. I'm just using some hot glue. It's nice and easy and sets quickly. And once I added those 4 pieces of lavender to the doll and made sure that they're well glued down, I actually took a piece of ribbon to form a sort of like belt. So imagine this is kind of like her dress almost. And then I put a little bit of purple ribbon that I'd got left over from the Brigid's cross that I made and wrapped that around as like a little belt. I thought it was quite a nice little touch because it makes it, try not to burn yourself with hot glue like I just did. I like it because it ties it in with the Brigid's cross and makes them match. So they're like a little matching set. I did find this a bit fiddly because my glue gun had got hot by this stage, and the heat of the hot glue goes through the ribbon, which is not fun. But if you just are patient and careful, you can get this to stick down quite well. Just have to be careful not to keep touching the hot glue like I kept doing. And then just cut off any excess ribbon and make sure the ends are well stuck down. And then the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to create some hair on the doll, and I want to carry on using as many natural materials as I possibly can. And in my potpourri bowl are these absolutely beautiful yellow flower petals from the summer, and I was really impressed with how these dried out and how they maintained their colour. They're so bright. So I decided to use these for her hair, and literally all you do is just put a tiny little dab of glue on the edge and just stick it onto the head just below the little crown, and it creates a hair-like effect for the doll. And I just used about, I don't know, between 4 and 6 pieces, just where I felt they needed to be placed. And this was to create her hair. I quite like how this worked out, actually. I was quite pleased with this. And on camera they look very yellow, but actually in real life they've got like quite an orange tint to them, so I thought that was quite fitting for the Fire Festival season. Here I was just finding a slightly longer piece that I needed, having a little rummage around in my potpourri bowl. And then stuck the last 2 pieces just behind the head, just to fill up that gap either side of the head to make it look like a full head of hair, as opposed to just a couple of random bits sticking out at the sides. like so. And then I've got these couple of sycamore seeds that I collected in the autumn, and I decided to add those as well because they're seeds, which fits in with the Imbolc theme, because it's all about you can plant seeds at this time of year. It's about you know, welcoming in the new life into the world, and obviously it's a time of year where you would start, if you're a farmer, you'd start to plant your seeds and your animals would become pregnant. And I just thought that was a nice little thing to add, was to add a couple of sycamore seeds. And then the last thing I did was I put a little gemstone on her belt, and once she's fully set, then all you need to do is place her on your altar to welcome Brigid into your home and to welcome good fortune. Hope you enjoyed this video. Blessed be. Bye for now.